Hey everybody, hey boss lady, this is Angela Tesano here with the Little Oil Podcast. I cannot even tell you how excited I am today. We have made it through 2024. Whatever happened, the great times, the challenging times, whatever it is, doesn't really matter anymore because it is done. We have just a few hours before we walk into our 2025. And I'm going to tell you right now, 2025 is going to be your best year yet. And here's why. Because today we're going to dive in exactly what you need to do to make sure that all of your goals for 2025 are met. Am I saying that 2025 is going to be perfect? No, I'm always going to be upfront and honest with you. But you have a better chance of achieving your goals for 2025 when you have a plan and a strategy. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Let's get really real for a minute. What is the truth about goals? The truth is they are not automatic. So if you're the kind of person that wants to hope for the best and then let the chips fall where they may, you may or may not achieve your goals. But if you can go with me for a minute, boss lady, if you can just ride my train for the next 45 minutes. I'm telling you, if you are intentional, if you are pragmatic, if you are strategic about the daily, day-to-day life that you are going to live in 2025, and you are intentional and pragmatic and strategic about the goals that you have set, and you apply the specific strategies that I'm going to share with you today, you are going to achieve your goals. You're going to achieve your goals because you got me, and I'm never going to stop creating ways for you to succeed in life and in business. So I want to dive in. I want to take my time and I want to share with you exactly what you need to do to actually achieve your goals in 2025. So let me ask you this quick question. How many times have you written down a goal that felt so exciting, like you were so super excited about it, but it ended up just sitting there on the page, trapped, held hostage on the page or your journal or your agenda, and you have no idea how to move it, how to actualize it, how to activate it? Well, I want to talk about 3 strategic key steps you can take to actually lift those goals off the page and turn them into an actual goal achieved. I want you to go fast forward in your head a minute, and I want you to fast forward to December 31st, 2025. I want you to just ground yourself for a minute and think about what your life will look like when you look at your goals list that you created for 2025 and they're achieved and they're done. Won't your life look a little bit different? Won't your life look a little bit progressed and moved in the direction that you want it to go? I want you to wrap your head around that feeling that you could potentially have. That's why it's important to start tomorrow off, to start January 1, 2025 off with these strategic steps that you need to take to make sure you actually achieve your goals. If you are not used to being here, if you are new here, I'm Angela, and I want to welcome you. I used to be a teacher, and I taught for more than 18 years in the classroom, and I absolutely loved being a teacher. I knew since 3rd grade I would be a teacher. But these days I am a full-time content creator, and God gave me the Little Oil movement over a year ago. The exact date escapes me, but it's been a while, and I was brave enough to actually put it into motion and put it out there because I know that it's what God wants me to do. He wants me to gather the women of God together and teach them 2 Kings 4. And the little oil movement is really based on 2 Kings 4. And I'll tell you, if you're new here, what it's about, to give you a good foundation of what the Little Oil podcast is for, what the Little Oil Party is, and I'll explain more in depth about the party in just a bit, and what the Little Oil movement, it really is all about. So in 2 Kings 4, there was this widow, and her husband died and left her in a considerable amount of debt. A considerable amount of debt. And when her creditors came knocking on her door, she didn't have the money to pay them. And they told her basically, well, you can sell your sons into slavery and use that money to settle your debt. She didn't want to do that. Of course, there's got to be another way, she's thinking. So she went to Prophet Elijah, and her husband worked with him in the ministry, so he knew them. She trusted him as an advisor. She didn't really know what to do. He asked her a very simple question. He said, what do you have in your house? Well, she was thinking, okay, I'm telling you a crisis. I'm giving you the truth about what's getting ready to happen to me, and you want to know about what I have in my house? Couldn't you just write me a check? Couldn't you just raise some money? Couldn't you just do a fundraiser? But he did not want to enable her. He wanted to give her freedom. And so he asked her, what do you have in your house? And her only answer was, I only have a little oil. That's all I have. I have nothing else. I have no assets. I have no credibility with the creditors. All I have is a little oil. He gave her some instructions. He said, I want you to go borrow some pots from your neighbors. And she was thinking, this man done lost his mind. But she did it. She stepped out on faith and she did it. He said, go ahead and gather the pots that you borrow from your neighbors. She gathered the pots and she was like, okay, now what? He says, fill those pots with oil and then go sell it. Y'all, what happened next is incredible. The Bible says that she sold the little oil that she had, and she began to see profit. And when that little oil ran out, God began to miraculously fill her pots with oil. Every time she ran out, the pots were refilled. The moral of the story, the ending of the story, the climax of the story is this. The Bible says that she settled her debt and lived off the rest. And it all started with a little oil. Welcome to the Little Oil Podcast. Be part of the Little Oil movement. And in a little bit, I'll share with you how to join us in the Little Oil Party. I'm so super excited because in this podcast episode today, I'm going to give you 3 exact steps that you can take to actually achieve your goals in 2025, just like I explained in the intro. And here they are. So I want to take you through what you will learn in this exact episode. And to actually achieve your goals in 2025, you're going to do 3 things. You're going to I'm going to actually break down what it takes to achieve goals. And then I'm going to talk about how to plan your work and then work that plan. And then I'm going to talk about the only thing you need to do to make sure that that plan works, to make sure that the plan that you put in place actually works for you. So 3 things I'm going to talk about today. And if you implement them, you're going to see the truth about what it takes to actually achieve goals. And you're going to be able to do the things that you should do to achieve them. So let's go ahead and get right in. Let's talk about key number 1. I want you to first break your goals into milestones. What that means is whatever goals you have for 2025, what are the milestones, the different key things that you need or actions that you need to take in order to achieve that goal. All right. Before we talk about how to break the goals into milestones, let's talk about why goals feel so overwhelming. Because it will. once you see them on paper, it is very tempting to just look at them and be like, oh my God, what have I done? Why would I even write this? Why did I even write this? It's very tempting to do that. However, if you break those goals down into milestones, the things that you need to achieve, the things that you need to do to achieve the goal, it kind of just slices it up into bite-sized pieces so that it doesn't feel so big. Because the truth of the matter is, goals feel overwhelming because they are big. And if you didn't write anything big, then you're not really stretching yourself to the capacity of what you actually can do. Yes, we start with the little that we have, but we do dream big. Right? She didn't, the woman with the widow with a little oil, she had no idea she would turn it into an empire. She started with what she had. You are going to turn your little oil into an empire, starting with what you have. Friend, sis, your little oil could be just a few followers. Your little oil could be just one chapter of a book. Your little oil could be just one part of the recipe that you have figured out. Your little oil could be just the intro for a speech or a speaking engagement that you haven't even been invited to yet. Your little oil is whatever gifts and talents you have in your hand, and we grow from there. So, yes, goals are big, and that's why they feel overwhelming. But the secret to achieving them is breaking them down into smaller, manageable milestones. Like if I wanted to go from Georgia to Louisiana, where I'm from, it'll take 10 hours. That's thousands of miles. Well, I can't approach my trip by trying to take all the miles at one time. It's 1 mile at a time. And once I pass the first mile and get to the second mile and get to the third mile, now I'm at 100 miles. That's a milestone. Like I got through the first chunk. In other words, I got from here to Alabama. That may be a milestone. Right? Get to Alabama first. Don't try to get from Georgia to Louisiana. Get from Georgia to Alabama first, because I got to go through Alabama to get to Louisiana. And then from Alabama, I get to Mississippi. Second milestone. Right? And then from Mississippi, I get to Louisiana. I don't get from Georgia to Louisiana in one leap, in one step. The milestones are Georgia to Alabama to Mississippi, and then I've made it. That's how I want you to treat or approach your goals. What milestones do you need to achieve? What milestones do you need to get to your end goal? Another good example is, I want you to think about a sheet cake. And those of you who are bakers, you understand this. And those of you who love cake, you definitely get it. Think of a sheet cake. It's like a rectangle cake. And you love cake, right? And as much as you love that cake, there is no way you're going to take the entire sheet cake. It could be a 9 by 12. There's no way you're going to take the entire sheet cake and just put it in your mouth. It will not fit. But if you take a slice and you bite off that slice, at some point, you shouldn't do this, but at some point you can consume the whole cake. Do not eat the whole cake. I forbid you to do it. But you get my point, right? It's one milestone at a time. It's one bite at a time. Last analogy and example. Let's say you want to climb a mountain. There is no way you're going to get from the valley to the top of the mountain in one leap. You get there one step at a time. You can't do it all at once. So with the 3 analogies that I gave you, whether it be a trip to Louisiana or eating a sheet cake or climbing a mountain, the steps that you take along the way or the milestones that you achieve along the way all lead toward the goal being achieved. Okay. So break it down, your goal down into milestones is key number 1. So let's put it into real terms as if there is a goal. And I'll show you using the example of a goal exactly what breaking the goal into milestones. I'll show you exactly what that looks like. I am so super excited for you because this is going to work. Remember, key number 1 is to break big goals into milestones. All right, real life example for creators. Let's say say, for instance, your big goal is to launch your first product by June. Very good goal. Very good goal. Here's how you can break that goal down into milestones. You can say, okay, in January, I'm going to research and outline the product. All right, research the product. What does it take to create the product? What does it take to launch the product? And then I'm going to create an outline of what it takes to launch it. And that's all I want to do in January. Why is that important? Because if you try to launch the whole thing in January, which is a good goal, but if you try to launch it all in January, you're going to lose steam. You're going to lose creativity. You're going to lose motivation. Your inspiration is going to be deflated because it's too big. Think getting from Georgia to Louisiana. Think big sheet cake. Think big mountain. It doesn't have to be climbed in one day, in one leap, and neither can it. So in January, if you're breaking your big goal into milestones, you are just researching and outlining the product. Then in February, you're developing your marketing plan. How do I want to market this product? What messaging do I want to put in place? What messaging do I need to finalize to communicate what this does for my target market, for my target audience? And I will say this, the better your messaging is, the more chance you have of connecting with your audience and converting them into a follower, particularly a customer follower. So in February, you are developing your marketing plan. And then in March, you are actually putting that product out. You are launching the product. Now, you did that in a record time, 3 months, even though the goal was to do it in June. Now, are there different milestones that can be achieved in that? Yes, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute, because even though the milestones are research and outline, which is milestone number 1, and then create the content, which is milestone number 2, and then I skipped that one. Milestone number 2 is to actually create the content. Milestone number 3 is develop your marketing plan. And then milestone number 4, the actual launch. If that's January, February, March, and April, you actually beat your goal, right? You beat your goal. Your goal was to do it in June, and you did it January, February, March, and April. What can you do in May? Troubleshoot. Take all the roadblocks that you faced and figure out how to adjust, right? So breaking your big goal into milestones is the best way to achieve the goals. Write down the milestones that you have to achieve in order for the goal to get done. Okay, so let's go over it one more time before we go into key step number 2. You're going to break your big goals into milestones. Break your big goals into milestones. And the example that I shared today is if you want to launch a digital product, there are 4 things you need to do. In just a few minutes ago when I gave the example, I missed the second milestone. So that's why I'm reiterating and sharing it again so that I can make sure you understand it, because I want you to get this. Okay, so how do I achieve my goal, Angela? How do I achieve my goals in 2025? Key number 1 is to break your goal into milestones. Like, what milestones do I need to achieve to get this goal done? Here's the example. The example is, the goal is I want to launch a digital product by June. The reason why I said write a date for the goal is because the difference between a dream and a goal is the date. If you just say, I want to launch a product, your brain, your subconscious is going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to get that done one day. But when you say, I am going to launch a product by June 1st, your brain is saying, okay, deadline here, right? The difference between a dream and a goal is the date. So I want to reiterate this. Hello, Dr. Lee is here. Oh my God, it's great to see you on this last 2024 as well. Let's go. I'm so glad you are here. All right. So the goal is I want to achieve or launch a product by June 2025, June 1, 2025. The key here is to break that goal into milestones. Milestone number 1, research and outline the product. Milestone number 2, create the content for that product. Milestone number 3, develop a marketing plan for that product. And then milestone number 4, get the messaging out so that you can actually launch the product. Breaking the goal down into milestones helps you achieve the goal because goals are big and you don't want to try to attack it all at once. I promise you, breaking it down first is the key. All right, now that you break down the milestones, now that you break down the goals into milestones, the second key that you need to do, you need to create weekly action plans. All right. So guys, girls, friends, boss ladies, I really want you to get this because this is how, I promise you, is how goals are achieved. And if you have approached your goal in any other way that actually worked, share it in the comments. I would love to hear it. But I know this works because I've done it. Okay, I know this works because it's how I achieved my goals. And I'm sharing it with you because I know it's going to work for you. All right, so big goal. Okay, you know what they are because you wrote them down and you have a date. Right? You have a date connected to it, and you broke down the goal into specific milestones that you have to achieve or that you have to do or accomplish in order to achieve that particular goal. And now you're going to create weekly action plans. So the next step is to turn them into weekly action plans. This is where the power is because these are small, focused actions and are going to be the actual things that's going to help you to move forward. All right. So remember how I said we're going to break down the goal into milestones. Now you're going to take those milestones and you're going to break those milestones into specific actions. So let's go back. I want to share this with you in a way that is like comprehensible. All right. Remember in January, we are going to research and outline the product. Okay. That's a milestone to launching the product. But now that you have the milestone, the action plan for that particular milestone can be, even though you're doing that milestone in January, the action plan for that milestone can be, okay, I am going to break that down and January 1 through 7, I'm researching product ideas and I'm validating them with my audience. I'm researching, right? So I'm taking the milestone that I'm focusing on for January and I am breaking that milestone in January, week by week in January. So January 1 through 7, I'm doing something to research. January 7th through 14, I'm doing something to research. Everything that I'm doing weekly or daily in January contributes to the milestone for January. Everything that I'm doing in February, I'm breaking that down daily, and that contributes to the milestone in February. Does that make sense? It's like making it digestible. All right. All right. So if your milestone in January is to outline the product, then week 1 or day 1, week 2 or day 2, you are researching, you are creating your structure of your outline, you are doing everything that it takes to actually achieve that milestone. So if I had to stop this podcast right now, and I'm not because I have so much more I want to share with you, but if I had to stop this podcast right now, I would say your takeaway or your walk away is this. You have a goal. Break those goals down into milestones. Break those milestones into key steps or actions that you're going to do daily or weekly. And that's how you have to approach achieving goals. Remember, let's go back to the mountain. If you are at the valley, you are not going to climb the mountain in one big leap. You're going to take one step at a time. Actually, the milestones is I want to get from mile 1 to 100. And then I'm gonna climb 100 miles at a time. The 100 miles at a time are your milestones, but you still can't climb 100 miles at a time. Once you get the milestones 100 miles at a time, then you break those milestones and say, okay, what do I have to do to get from mile 1 to 100? And then once you achieve the exact steps to get from mile 1 to 100, and then you say, okay, Lord, I'm 100 miles in on my climbing my mountain. Okay, what do I need to do to get from mile 200 to 300? Right? And then take those steps. Glory, hallelujah. And I'm excited that you have the path now of how you're going to actually achieve your goals. All right. So key step number 2 is create weekly action plans based on the milestones. Create weekly action plans based on the milestones. All right. Focusing on completing the action steps of your plan is going to create the momentum that you need. And every part of those momentums that you receive, that you achieve, they're going to lead to a win. Like, can you imagine if you just get from mile 1 to 100 in a mountain and you're like, I can really do this. I can really climb this mountain. If your milestones are 100 miles at a time and you have the exact steps on how you're going to climb that 100 miles. After you get to mile 100, there's no stopping you. You're like, let's go, friend. Let's go. All right. So key step number 2 is to create weekly action plans, weekly action plans for your milestones. And then key step number 3 is to track your progress and adjust. Okay, let's use the climbing the mountain as an example, and then I'll show you a real-time example with an actual creator goal. So you have this 100 mile at a time milestone for your mountain, and then that's the milestones, and then you have all of the steps that you need to take to climb those 100 miles, right? That's breaking down the key steps of each milestone. When you get to mile marker number 100, go ahead and track whatever it took to get to mile 100, and then make adjustments to make sure that mile 100 to 200 and 200 to 300 gets better and better, because you don't want to make the same mistakes at mile 900 to mile 1,000. You don't need to do that, because you've learned what to do and what not to do in mile number 1 to 200 and mile number 200 to 300. Track your progress and make adjustments. That is what you're going to do to make sure that as you go along, you're getting better and better. You're getting more and more strategic and successful as you go along, right? So when you focus on completing your action steps for each mile and you track and adjust the progress, you're going to see the momentum that you need. And this is what it looks like. It looks like you winning, and it looks like you feeling accomplished. If you're anything like me, I'm a girl that is driven by accomplishment. The more I can accomplish, the better I feel about myself, the more motivated I feel, the more inspired I am. I can be dog dead tired, but if I'm feeling accomplished, I'm moving. Right? If I don't feel accomplishment, I lose steam. I have to get past that. It's not acceptable to say, I don't want to move anymore. I don't want to go anymore because I'm not feeling accomplished. No. And what happens is the way to overcome that is to revisit your why. When I'm not feeling accomplished and I feel like I don't want to move anymore and I don't want to go anymore, I always revisit why. Why am I doing this? And when your why is strong enough, you keep going whether you're tired or not. When your why is strong enough, you keep moving whether you want to give up or not. When your why is strong enough, you forge forward. Even when everything in your bones say, I quit. When your why is strong enough, you just get it done. All right, so let's recap. Number 1, to achieve your goals in 2025, to actually achieve your goals in 2025, number 1, you want to break your goals into milestones. Number 2, you want to create weekly action plans for those milestones. All right. And number 3, you want to track your progress and make adjustments as needed, as necessary. So I want to go back to real quick creating weekly action plans, and I want to break it down as if we were actually creating something as a creator. So remember, the goal that I shared in the beginning was launching a product. And we talked about those milestones, right? We talked about the milestones of creating that product. Research and outline the product. Create the product content. Develop your marketing plan. Launch your audience, right? Launch and provide the messaging for your audience so that you can launch. Those are 4 good milestones. Now, I know you're asking, Angela, how do I know if my milestones that I break down, how do I know if they're good milestones? Let me tell you how you know, friends. Let me tell you how you know. If your milestones actually contribute to that goal being achieved, it's a good milestone for the goal. It must contribute. If it doesn't contribute, then it's not a good one. Pick something else. In other words, ask yourself, what do I need to do? What gradual steps do I need to take to actually get this goal achieved? And that's how you know it's a good milestone. All right. So now that you have your milestones, let's look at launching a product in terms of the weekly action plans. All right. So remember, week 1, you're going to do everything that you know it takes to actually achieve milestone 1. If milestone one is researching and outlining the product, watch me. Watch this. If milestone 1 is researching and outlining the product, then the weekly tasks for that, breaking down the weekly tasks for that looks like this. Okay, I want to spend 15 to 20 minutes just researching other products to see how they work. All right, I want to do that day 1. Day 2, I want to create an outline. You know what? And your steps, you might think like, okay, I already decided that one of my weekly action steps for my milestone is to outline. And you sit down to outline and you realize, you know what? I don't have really a good system on how I want to outline. It's okay to interject steps as needed. So I might sit down and say, okay, I'm going to write my outline, and then I'm writing this outline on this, tablet or notebook that I had last year, but I'm not feeling inspired by that. So I might say, okay, I'm going to stop this step real quick, and I'm going to create another step, and that is go buy me a brand new, crispy, beautiful agenda that I love, that I'm going to be inspired to write in. It's totally okay to do that, because that's what's going to help you get your milestones done. The last thing you want to do is get to a step, and in that step, you don't feel inspired, but you feel forced to get that step done. And because you feel like you got to get the step done. No, sis. No. Let's go back to the mountain analogy. If your first milestone is 100 miles, and the key step number 1 is to walk, take the steps to walk that 100 miles, and you take 5 steps and your feet start hurting, you don't want to keep walking with your feet hurt. Stop the milestone where it is in its tracks, go to the store, find shoes that are comfortable, and then start again. Does that make sense to you? Whenever you are reaching your goals, if you get to a milestone that's not working because the steps aren't working, stop the milestone, get the step adjusted, and then keep moving, right? So if my milestone is to create the outline of my new product that I want to launch by June 1st, and the steps that I have decided I want to take is to go ahead and write that outline out and on paper, and I go and grab a notebook that's all full of other things, and I'm thinking, why am I doing this? It's not working. I'm going to stop, go buy something new, or research digital productivity apps. Craft is my favorite. I love it so much. It's amazing. And then that's what I do. I use Craft. And so then I go and now that I'm writing my steps and writing my outline rather, I feel inspired about doing it. And I know that my goal is going to be achieved because I'm actually contributing to the milestone for that goal to being achieved. All right. So, number 1, break down your goals into milestones. Number 2, turn those milestones into weekly action plans. And number 3, track and adjust as needed. And I promise you, if you approach your goals just like this, you are going to achieve your goals. I promise you, you're going to achieve your goals. Not only do you have the system and a strategy to get it done, you got me, because I'm going to be on here rooting you on, being your cheerleader, making sure you're getting it done. I'm going to do check-ins, like on my weekly check-ins for my Cura Circle. And I'm going to say, okay, what were your goals for 2025 again? How's that going for you? Well, Angela, it's not going. Okay, did you break it down into milestones? No? Okay, that may be the problem. That may be something that you need to consider, because I'm telling you, if you try to approach your goals with one big chunk and just go at it with no plan and no strategy, you don't have a good chance. But if you break down the goal and say, okay, what milestones do I need to achieve to get this goal done? I promise you, it is going to work. Okay, let me show you what that looks like in a real-time example for my business. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee says, yes, love the check-ins. I got to put this on the screen. Yes, love the check-ins. The check-ins are everything, because it keeps you accountable. It allows you to have conversations and talk about things that you probably wouldn't have thought of without a conversation. Conversations, friends, are meaningful between boss ladies who are creators, because it sparks that next thing you need to do. It gives you the energy, the inspiration to do what you need to do. Okay, let me break down this entire system of achieving your goals in 2025 in real time based on my goals. Okay. So let me start with the vision, because if you haven't watched it yet, one of our big podcast in this series was starting with a vision. And I asked you in that podcast, are you dreaming big enough? Are you dreaming big enough? And so we created a vision. And then in podcast number 2, we talked about, okay, now that you have the vision, how do you create the goals for that vision? Right? How do you create the goals for that vision? So if you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch podcast number 2 in the series, because vision has to be turned into goals. And then in this third podcast episode, the current one that you're listening to, we're talking about how to turn those goals into actually achieving them. And that is by creating those goals into milestones and then an action plan. All right. And then the fourth podcast episode in the series, which is next Tuesday, we're putting it all together and we are implementing our strategy. And it is also, by the way, I think this is true. Let me just check and make sure. It is also, I'm checking my calendar. It is also the first day of our six-figure cohort inside of Cura Circle. So that's going to be the perfect way to segue into the actual six-figure cohort. A cohort is basically just a gathering of people who are learning something together. It's a fancy word for that. And so I just love the word, and that's how I used it. But in essence, it's just a gathering of people who are coming together to learn something. You could just call it a live class. However, inside of my Cura Circle, January the 7th, we kick off our 5-week live class where I teach and coach the members inside my Cura Circle how to launch and the exact launch for a six-figure program, a coaching program. And I'm telling you right now, there are 7 creator opportunities that you can choose if you want to make money as a content creator. Coaching is by far the easiest one to launch, because literally you're just teaching what you know. And by the end of 5 weeks, I'm so excited about it. And by the end of 5 weeks, all of the members inside of the cohort are going to literally walk away with a completed, systemized, organized, and a potentially monetized coaching program that they can literally sell. At the end of 5 weeks, the system is going to be created and they can sell that day. The day we walk away at the end of 5 weeks, they're going to be ready to sell because the system is going to be done. In other words, as we go through week by week, we are building this coaching program, this six-figure coach program. We're building it in real time. It's not like I'm going to be teaching you what you should do. No, I'm telling you what to do. And if you do it by the end of 5 weeks, your coaching program is ready to go. It's launched. is good to go. And I'm really excited about it. As a matter of fact, yesterday, I added all of the week 1 content inside of the 6-figure cohort space. So if you are a member of Kira Circle, you want to check that out because it is ready for you. Go ahead and read through it because it's literally going to take you through exactly what we're going to be doing, and it's going to give you a good amount of information that you need going into the live session. Okay. All right. So let me go back to my example. So my big vision, hallelujah, for 2025 in the area of business, because remember, you have 7 specific target life areas in your life, and you need to focus on and be intentional about all 7 of those areas. If you are not intentional about all 7 of those areas, you're not going to have total fulfillment or life balance. One of those 7 life areas is your career and or your business. If you're a full-time creator like me, it's business. But if you're not a full-time creator yet, it's career or job/business. You got to work on both, because I've always told you, and it is so serious. I'm so serious when I say this. Your job will take care of your life, but it will not cover your legacy. Your job will pay the light bill, your clothes, your food, maybe a vacation, but it will not take care of your legacy depending on what kind of lifestyle you want. Your business, your creative business, your real estate, your stocks, something you are investing in that's going to produce you more money, that's what's taking care of your legacy money. That's what's taking care of the money that you're going to will to your great-great-great-grandchildren in a trust. You can't give them the money that you need to pay your light bill. And I say that, and it sounds like I'm being a little bit too expressive, but I mean it when I say it, friends. You cannot give your great-great-grandchildren your light bill money in a trust, because if you did that, you're going to be in the dark. Okay? So, again, your work, your job, your career takes care of your living, and your creative business takes care of your legacy. All right. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching women how to launch and build and grow and profit from a creative business, because I know what it's for. It's for your purpose. It's for your passion. There's a profit opportunity in the market. It's for your legacy, right? It's to help you solve the world's biggest problems. If that's what God created you to do, you need money to do that. Your light bill money can't do it. Your creative business money, it can take care of all those things. So my big vision for 2025 for my business life area is 100 women inside of the Kira Circle who are profitable content creators. Now, remember, I said, what is a vision? A vision is literally what you want to see happen. So if I broke that down into non-thesis style with just one sentence, 100 thriving content creators in 100 thriving content creators inside Kira Circle. That's my vision. That's what I want. That's my vision. That's what I want to see happen. So now that I have this vision, I have to create the goals to get there. What goals do I need to achieve in order to see 100 women inside of Kira Circle? Now, I have some women inside of Kira Circle, but my vision is not realized yet because it's not 100. And I'm going for 100. I launched Kira Circle in 2024. That was my big goal last year, and I did it. And how did I do it? I followed the same steps that I'm teaching you today. I followed the same strategy that I'm teaching you today. So 100 women inside Kira Circle, 100 profitable and thriving women inside Kira Circle. That's what I want to see happen. So what goals do I need to achieve to see 100 women inside Kira Circle? what goals do I need to achieve to realize that vision? Okay. Well, number one, I need to make sure that I launch a really good content marketing plan. How do I educate my audience to show them the value of being inside Cura Circle? Content marketing, because I don't believe in ads. I'm not throwing money at the algorithm and say, can you please help somebody find me? First of all, I don't have that kind of money to invest, because money that I invest must be within my reasonable loss. And that is a tip for investing, by the way. If it's within your reasonable loss, in other words, if you lose the money and you're still good, it's within a reasonable loss, it might be a risk you should take. For me, it's not within my reasonable loss because I have a financial goal that I'm trying to achieve. So I'm not going to throw money at an algorithm and say, okay, let's let people find me and then hope they like me. No, and that is one way. You can you can invest money and pay for ads to help people find you. But there is another way. Organic traffic. My traffic strategy is organic traffic. And what that means is I'm going to teach what I know. I'm going to connect out there with people that get me, like Dr. Lee. She gets me. Like, we met for the first time because she found me on YouTube. And so when we connected, we were like automatic besties. Like, it's true. And I know everybody's not going to get me. I know that everybody's not going to appreciate my over enthusiastic path or approach to things. This is how my brain works. This is my exact personality. I can only be who I am. I wake up like this without coffee. And so she gets me. And so my path to, or one of my goals to get my 100 members inside Cura Circle is to execute or implement a content marketing plan, not with ads, but through organic traffic. And organic traffic means I'm going to educate my audience on YouTube, because YouTube is my that's my perfect fit platform. Like, I've had a mic in my hand since I was a child, so it's not a stretch or a hard task for me to turn on the mic and get on camera. It's a perfect fit for me. If YouTube is not a perfect fit for you, if you start crying every time you get on YouTube, YouTube might not be for you. It could be, and I suggest you do try, but find something where you find a platform where when you get on, you feel comfortable and people will know that you're in your happy place, that you are in a place where you are thriving and you are effective, and connect there. And so goal number one is implement the content marketing plan. All right. So that's the goal number one. Okay. So I achieved that goal, right? I have that goal done, right? My content marketing plan is done, but my content marketing plan, which is goal number one, it wasn't created just in one day. I had to, even though that milestone, right, that goal, I had to break that goal down into milestones. I had to break that goal down into milestones. So if goal one was to implement a marketing plan, right, a content marketing plan, and I know it's a good goal, because if I implement a good content marketing plan, I'm going to get more followers. I'm going to get more members inside my Cura Circle. I had to break that goal down into milestones. Okay. So I had to say, okay, how do I implement a good content marketing plan? All right. Number one, I need to decide what my perfect fit platform is going to be. YouTube, check. I have to decide where I'm going to put this content marketing plan. Where am I going to curate it? Where am I going to list it out? Okay, I had to do that. Several things, all the milestones. And then I had to break those milestones into steps. All right. Step one, open up Craft and start listing. Step two, go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what kind of videos do I need to make to convert, right, my audience into followers to purchase or become a member of Cura Circle? Is this making any sense to anybody? Right? That is the path that I took. Okay. So several goals that I needed to achieve in order to get the 100 members. All right. Another big goal that I had for, I know I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Another big goal that I had for 2024 was to launch my little oil jar. Oh my gosh, that was hard. It was very challenging, but why did it work? Did I achieve it? Heck yeah, I achieved it. But why did it work? Because I took the goal and I broke the goal down into milestones. All right, a big goal, launch a new product. That's a big goal. Launch a new product. It's a big goal. But I took the launch of the little oil jar and I broke that down into milestones, right? So I envisioned, okay, my first milestone was, all right, research all the different parts that I need to gather together to assemble what I want the customer to receive in the mail. What do I want the customer to receive? So research was one. And so I broke that milestone down into key steps, right? Step 1, Monday, research Amazon, research DTF transfers. That's direct to film. That is the label that I use to put on the actual little oil jar. You see where I'm going here? So I broke down the launch of the little oil jar all the way down to all the milestones that I need to achieve to get the jar launched. And then I took the milestones and I broke those all the way down to the key steps on what I was doing daily. And what I'm doing daily, or what I did daily, is what I actually had on my agenda. So that when I opened up my agenda for today, I wasn't looking around thinking, okay, what do I do today? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Every day you wake up, you should be able to open up your agenda, whether it's a physical agenda like a calendar, or a daily agenda, or a digital productivity app, whatever it is you want to choose. When you open up your agenda for today, or every day in January, or 2025 for that matter, have the exact steps that you need to take for that day. And it should scaffold. In other words, whatever it is I have on my agenda to do for tomorrow is a key step that contributes to the milestone, that contributes to the goal, that contributes to the vision. All right, here's what that looks like in real time. Let's go back to launching my little oil jar, my new product. My agenda would say something like, research online stores for the keepsake bag that I want my customers to keep for the little oil jar. Okay? Research the keepsake bags, because I have a burlap bag that I should have it so you can see it. I have a burlap bag that the little oil jar goes in, that my audience or my customers can use to keep a little oil jar in. So if my agenda for that day says research online stores, right, or vendors, right, for my burlap bag, keep saying burlap. What in the world is a burlap? For my burlap bag, good gosh, Angela, get it together. Then that particular step, it contributes to the milestone. What's the milestone? What would the milestone be for that step? Research all the parts that I need to assemble for my product. And then that milestone contributes to the actual goal, launch a product. So let's reverse it again. Let's reverse it the regular way. Launch a product, milestone 1, launch all the different parts for that product. Step 1 for that milestone, research the vendors, right? Let's reverse it the other way. On my agenda, research vendors. Why? Because a milestone is research the parts for the product, and then the milestone contributes to the goal, which is launch the product. Let's see what Dr. Lee says. There is a platform for anyone in the Cura Circle community. We have everything we need to succeed. Angela is the truth. Oh my God. All I had was a little oil. Thank you, Dr. Lee. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I got to read this again. This is everything. This is everything. This is everything. Y'all. Okay. Y'all. I got to make this bigger. So Dr. Lee is one of the members inside my Cura Circle, and she just posted, this is for everybody who's going to be listening to the podcast. I'm adding it to the screen because it's everything. It's everything. It's my life fuel. It's the reason why I keep going, even when I'm tired or don't feel like I can make it or feel like I'm not good enough or feel like nobody wants it. This is the proof that I need to keep going when I want to quit. All right. Dr. Lee, from the Good Doctor's Perspective, if you have not checked out her YouTube channel, please go check it out at the Good Doctor's Perspective. She says there is a platform for anyone. In the Cura Circle community, we have everything we need to succeed. Angela is the truth. All I had was a little oil. Hashtag overflow. Hashtag a little oil. I did it. Dr. Lee, I did it. And I'm glad that it worked. And if it can work for you, it can work for others. Which leads me to your invitation to the Little Oil Party. And I got to tell you, when I met Dr. Lee, first of all, I was like a little girl just looking up to someone, because when I met Dr. Lee, like, she went to medical school. You know how hard it is to go to medical school and graduate and become a doctor? Like, I'm just a teacher. Like, I admired her so much. And I'm like, a doctor wants to be a part of my community? Like, and I went hard for her. I wanted to show her that it could work, that she could do it. I'm like, sis, if you can graduate medical school, it's going to be easy. Amen, sis. You are enough. It's working. It is. Dr. Lee, it's working. I'm just going to spend my time putting your comments on the screen because it's pumping me up right now. I got to tell you. She says, amen, sis. You are more than enough. It's working, sis. For those who are going to be listening on the podcast, this is proof. It is proof, because when I met Dr. Lee, she had an idea. And she launched her creator business in 4 weeks. And I mean, literally deciding who she helps, what she helps them do, deciding what platform she wanted, launching her YouTube channel. She's launched she launched on social media. Like, what she was able to do in 4 weeks was phenomenal. When I coached her, I told her, I said, I promise you this is going to work. I got you every step of the way. She trusted me, and thank you so much for trusting me, because now look at her on the screen. Like, seriously. And she is going to be a part of my cohort because she decided, okay, I want to take the next step and launch a coaching program, because she's literally going to change the health system, literally going to help people understand their health and how to live well. Like, I love that. Like, I can name 10 people right now that need her, because they don't understand what's going on with their bodies. They don't understand how to live well. She's never going to be able to promise you that you are going to live to 100, but she is going to be able to share with you what you need to do to work toward it, right? She's not giving you medical advice. She's giving you coaching information. She's giving you health education for you to be able to make a better decision about your life. Like, what better coach do you need than a person that has a medical degree? Just saying. So don't ask her about medical advice. That's not what she's here for. She's here to educate you. And I'm excited about that. I'm so excited about that. Okay. Dr. Lee, that was your pitch. That was your pitch for the world to see, for whoever sees this podcast or listens to this podcast. All right, this is what I'm going to do next. And I want to say this, Dr. Lee's not the only one. If you have just a little oil, in other words, just one idea, just a little idea, it doesn't matter what it is, we can take it and use it to launch your creator business. Because the truth of the matter is this, you are a content creator, whether you realize it or not, with a purpose opportunity, right? To build wealth through a creator business. I'm telling you, I see that for you. I know it is what you have. And I'm just a girl who used to be a teacher who understands the steps to get you there. That's it. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. And I'm quite sure I'm not as smart as Dr. Lee, but I know systems and I know how to help women of faith organize, systemize, and monetize their creator business. I know how to do that because I've done it. Right? I turned my teacher career into a full-time entrepreneur who is on the way to literally helping 100 women become profitable online content creator. All right. So here's what I want to do next. Real quick, I want to talk about what's my oil drop for today. Every episode, the good doctor's perspective. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I hope I served you well with your pitch. I wasn't prepared for it. That was my off the cuff pitch for the good doctor's perspective. And so that was me just talking off the top of my head. But I think it is. I think that what you're doing is amazing, Dr. Lee, and I believe in it. And I'm going to help you get your message out to as many people as possible, because people need to know and understand the truth about the medical field and what is possible for them with the right information. And you know so much, like you're so freaking brilliant. You're going to help and change the world. All right. So here's your oil drop for today. This is your, if you don't take away anything else from today's podcast, this is your big takeaway. Your goals are like a sheet cake. They don't get accomplished all at once. They happen step by step. And I want you to always remember that the goal is not perfection. It's progress over perfection. And so when I say goals are like a sheet cake, this is what I mean. When you have a 9x12 sheet cake, as much as you love it, you cannot put that whole sheet cake in your mouth at one time. It will not fit. I mean, and I have a pretty big mouth, and it will not fit. What you have to do is you have to cut that cake. And then you have to, and those are your milestones. When you cut that cake, every piece is a milestone. And then you take that piece, that milestone, and you take one bite at a time. That's exactly how you achieve your goals in 2025. You write your goal like a sheet cake. You cut a piece, that's your milestone, and you take a bite. That's your step. And then you track and assess your progress and make adjustments along the way. In a nutshell, that's how it's done. So what do I have for you next? Here's your overflow challenge. Here's your overflow challenge. I want you to take some time today. It must be today. I know that your friends want you over, and I know that you have to go to a New Year's Eve party. Carve some time out for yourself. I don't care if it's 30 minutes or an hour. I want you to get a brand new journal, a brand new notebook or tablet, or use your very practical analogy. Thank you, Dr. Lee. I want you to get your brand new journal, agenda, or your digital app, your productivity app, and I want you to carve out 30 minutes to an hour. It has to be today. No excuses. Like if you got to go to the party, leave 30 minutes early. because I want you to do this before midnight. And I want you to do these 3 things. I want you to, before we get to the 3 things, you need to get some type of new agenda, new calendar, or productivity app. I want you to get it ready. And then take these 3 steps. This is your overflow challenge. Number 1, I want you to take your big goals for 2025, and I want you to break it into 3 to 5 milestones. If your big goal is to launch a product, what 3 milestones do you need to break it into to launch the product? That's number 1. So you're going to write the goal with the date and at least 3 to 5 milestones. Then I want you to choose one of the milestones, just one. And I want you to write the small action steps that you're going to take toward it. And I want you to put those action steps on the calendar. It needs to be on the calendar. Then after you take one milestone and then break it down into steps on the days of your calendar, then I want you to set a weekly check-in with yourself. It can be in the Cura Circle, right? Because we meet every Thursday for check-ins. And I want you to review your progress, and I want you to address any obstacles that you have that week, that you experienced that week, and then make the adjustments. This is how you're going to start your year. So tomorrow, when you open up your agenda or your productivity app, you know exactly what you are going to do. If your big goal for 2025 is to get 1,000 followers, then you're going to write, I will earn 1,000 followers by June 1st or October 1st, right? That's the big goal, right? You're going to take that big goal, you're going to break it down into 3 to 5 milestones. What milestones do I need to break this into to achieve my 1,000 followers? Well, number 1, you need to write some content. Right? So create the content as a milestone. Number 2, make sure you have your tool stack ready to go. How are you going? That's right. Get it up there. Get the tool stack ready. That's a milestone. How do you know it's good milestones? Because the milestones contribute to it. The milestones are just bite-sized chunks of your big goal, right? And then step 3, what weekly actions Step 2, choose the milestones, and then what small actions do you need to take toward those milestones? If the milestone is write the content for getting that 1,000 followers, okay, then what's a good step? Oh, go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what kind of content, or give me some video ideas of on my topic and what I teach. See where I'm going with this? And then I want you to set a weekly check-in. Friends, I don't want you to approach your 2025 goals by just driving and not stopping, taking a beat, taking a moment, pause, and assess what's going on. Because what's going to happen is if you just keep running and don't assess in between, far and like in between, all up in there, then by June, you're going to look back and say, I'm not getting very far at all, because you didn't stop and assess. See what's working, see what's not working, and make adjustments. And do that every week. Don't wait until April to decide, oh, this not working. No, every week, your goal broken down into milestones, broken down into steps for those milestones, is going to be on your agenda, and you're going to look at the week and say what worked, what didn't, and what adjustments do I need to make. Okay. Woo, we're going to do it. We're going to reach our goals in 2025. And this is exactly how you're going to do it. So here's what I want to do next. I want you to get really excited about this year. And here's how. Join my little oil party. The little oil party, it really is all about taking what you have, gathering with women just like you, and looking at the possibility, right? And I want to just say this. There are a lot of content creators out there, and they have their own method. I'm not here to bash them. What I'm saying is I'm the kind of content creator that is going to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I'm not inviting you to this party for me to hype you up, inspire you, tell you all the great things you can do, and then say, okay, you're not going to do it unless you give me $1 million. I'm not going to do that to you. When you come to my little oil party, yes, you're going to be inspired. You're going to be empowered. You're going to be pumped up and ready to go, but you're you're also going to walk away with real action steps done. Bite-sized steps done. Does that mean I'm not going to offer you anything? Of course I'm going to offer you anything. I'm a businesswoman. But that's for those who are ready and can and are able. I'm not going to bring you on, allow you to go through the whole party and a whole presentation and then say, if you can't afford me, if you can't get part of me, give me $1 million, good luck. I would never do that to you. I would never do that to you. If you are not able or willing, or if you can't go to the next step with the offer that I provide, you at least walk away with something done, and you can hold on to that win that you achieve inside the party. You can hold on to that until you are ready for the next step. But at least you walk away a winner. At least you walk away with something done. And I can promise you, when you join the party, you walk away with something done. You walk away with that little oil. Happy New Year, Elle. Happy New Year, my friend. You walk away with something done. So you definitely want to join it. What's going to happen is you're going to have this little oil jar. Give me a minute. I want to show you exactly what the little oil jar is. I'm going to grab it. So don't go anywhere. Don't leave. You're going to want to see this. I'm going to grab it real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Are y'all still here with me? Hey, okay, if you're still with me, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you're still here with me. I hope you didn't leave me. All right, so this is everything, and I'm going to literally help you through making sure that your goals are achieved for 2025. And a good way to do that is with the little oil jar. So this is the little oil jar. You see it? All right, and here is how it works. There are 4 key things that you need to make sure you do as a content creator. And thank you, Dr. Lee. Thank you for the thumbs up. Dr. Lee is still here with me. All right. And this is how it works. With your little oil jar, there are 4 things you need to make sure you do as a content creator. And if you want to make sure that your knowledge is profitable and you turn that into legacy wealth, you have to do 3 key things. Oh, and here is the dust jacket that I was telling you about as a keepsake. All right. So what you want to do is you want to have, and I'll teach more on this later. I won't deep dive into it today, but your goal is 5 customers. All right. And so you're going to get stars with your jar. And every customer you get, you're going to add a star to the jar. It keeps you motivated. It keeps you inspired. It keeps you going. And then when you get another customer, you're going to add it to the jar. Now, there are oil drops you're going to put in here, and I won't go into the oil drops right now. I'll teach it another time. But at the end of the day, 5 is your goal. So 3, 4, 5. That's all I want you to do. And in the 6-figure cohort, I'm going to teach you how to launch a coaching program. And once you have the coaching program launched, you're going after these first 5. I only want you to get 5, because once you get your 5 customers, we're going to pause. We're going to assess how did I get those 5? What did I do right? What took me so long? What do I need to do better? And then the next goal is to take that valuable information, that valuable curated information that you gathered from what you did to get the 5, and you're going to use that to get the next 5. Right? How do I get this 5? Oh, if I got this 5 because I was consistent on YouTube, I'm going to do more of that. Oh, I got another customer. So now we're going to double it, and we're going for 10. That's 6, 7. Hear that? Money. That's money. 8. Put it in, friends. 9. Put it in. 10. All right. So your goal is 10. The goal is 5 customers, and then we look and see what worked to get those 5, and then we double it. Once we get to the 10 mark, it's all about the 10x from that point. Literally, friends, you're going to 10x your revenue every month or every year or every quarter. In other words, if you get 10 customers, you're going to 10x and get 100 because you know what to do now. You're rocking and rolling. And guess what? It only started with a little oil. Yes, Follow Your Bliss is here. Hey, thank you so much for joining today. All right, so get your little oil jar. I'll put the link in the description as soon as this podcast is over. Get your little oil jar because I'm telling you right now, it's going to help you stay motivated. It's going to help you stay inspired. And it just works. It's like having a life size or a real life size vision board, right? You know exactly what you want to accomplish and you're adding them. Okay. So why 5, Angela? Because we got to start somewhere. You got to start with your little oil. What little do you know? It doesn't matter. You don't need to have 1 million followers to grow wealth. You just need to know something that somebody else needs and are willing to pay for. And I'm going to teach you how to organize, systemize, and monetize that knowledge of yours using just your little oil. It doesn't matter if you only have 1 chapter of the book written. That's a little oil. I can use that. It doesn't matter if you only have 1 part of the recipe figured out. That's a little oil. I can use that. It doesn't matter if you only have just the introduction of your speaking engagement figured out. You don't even have any invitations yet. You don't even have any invites for speaking engagement, but you know you can help an audience do something. And you only have just that 1 introduction. That's a little oil. I can use that because your area of expertise, your knowledge, you're going to just keep sharing that. And as long as you are authentic and as long as you have a pure motive and as long as you are integral and people resonate with what you're saying, they're going to become followers. And here's how they're going to become followers. They're going to subscribe to your YouTube channel. They're going to become a follower on Instagram. They're going to sign up for your newsletter. They're followers. The second phase of followers are just your general followers are those who follow you, right? On Instagram, on YouTube. They subscribe to your YouTube channel. The second phase of followers are called your customer followers. They like and trust you so much, they're willing to take out their credit card and give you their money. You can't take advantage of that. You have to show them that you have earned their dollars. These dollars in these streets don't come easy. You think I'm going to just take your money? No, I'm going to help you every step of the way. I got you, girl, because I want you to succeed just like I did. Right? And all it takes is a little oil. You want to get your little oil jar. I'm telling you. All right. Now, the party. Let's talk about the party. I have a party coming up the first month in, where's my phone? The first Monday in January, and that is January the 6th. Yeah, January the 6th. I think it's the 6th. Let me check. Because I want to give you the right date, my friend. As a matter of fact, I could just show you. Friends, let me see. All right. We're inside of my Cura Circle. And if you go to events, and we have, January the 6th. The little oil party is coming up. January the 6th is from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., 1 hour. You do not want to miss it because we're taking what you learned here today, the possibility of what you can do today. We're gathering together at the party and we're actually going to take some bite-sized steps to put that little oil in motion. It's all about activation, friends. It's all about activation. So while I'm here, once you sign up for the party, if I go back home, I have a whole space here ready for you, and that's the Little Oil Party Lounge. When you click on the lounge, you have everything you need to know about the party. Who's invited? What's the purpose? Where are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, wait, don't go nowhere. I got to show you this. All right. The Little Oil Party jar, like if you're not ready to pay for this yet, no worries. Everybody is not at the same space or in the same place financially. I don't want you not to be able to follow this path. So you can download the paper version of this for free. Like, I'm not interested in your money if you don't have it to give to me. I'm interested in you actually using the steps to grow so you can have money to pay for what you want. So you can join the Little Oil Party and get the paper version and then grow to get this version, right? This is for people who can afford it. Don't not pay your light bill and buy this. Don't skip a meal and buy this. Buy this if you can afford it. And if you can't, go on, become a member of the Cura Circle free, right? The Little Oil Party, and download the paper version. This is the post where you can get the actual downloads to do that. And then every time we have a Little Oil Party, I put the recap right here. But this is what I want you to see. Y'all, this is what I want you to see. I don't want to start crying. I do not want to start crying. So this is the recap of the party we had in December. And then I just put the objective and the summary here so you can really take away with good, valuable information. Look, I used to be a teacher, so it's not hard for me to make sure you're getting value from the content. Like, my kids would not go to the next grade if I didn't give them valuable content. Right? Love that offer for the free paper version. Thank you so much, Follow Your Bliss. I'm not leaving anybody behind. Right? If you don't want the real hardcore version, get the free version. Either way, we're all coming up together. Look, we all gonna eat. We eating together, right? Like, shame on creators who gatekeep everything just so that they can be a millionaire while everybody else look up to them. Now, we're not doing that over here in this piece. All right, so then I talk about how you can share, but check this out, y'all. This is one of my members. Watch this. Okay, where's my tissue? Let me get my tissue together. This is one of my members, and she posted inside the Cura Circle, she posted this. She said, the Little Oil Party on December 3rd was amazing. Angela dropped some good nuggets and provided clarity to help us think differently. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get to your question in just a bit. Follow Your Bliss want to know what Cura Circle means. Oh, I can't wait to tell you. And then she says, I have been writing my thoughts, ideas, and just envisioning all the possibilities that are ahead. Thank you, Angela, for pouring. She's talking about that oil. Thank you, Angela, for pouring. I joined the Cura Circle and looking forward to the 6-figure coach cohort. Y'all, this gave me life. Then she says, on December the 13th, she said, I shared my oil using the tips Angela gave and now have a new paid client enrolled in my 90-day coaching program. Y'all, I am still thinking of a name for my coaching program, but I have a client. This is proof. You don't need to have it all together. She didn't even have a name yet. But does the person care? Does the person care that your branding is not in place? What the person cares about is achieving their goal or solving a problem. And her content marketing, her tools that I gave her allowed the person to see, yes, you can help me, and they bought it. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, All right, so let me go out of here so I can answer Follow Your Bliss question. All right, so Cura Circle. All right, so Follow Your Bliss. I'm going to say this quickly because I don't want to take up too much of y'all time. So Cura, C-U-R-A, derives from the Latin phrase cura personalis, which means care for the entire person. And when I started my journey as a content creator, I knew that my purpose in life was to inspire and empower women to live the dream life that they always wanted. I know that to my very core. And Latin intrigues me. And so when I saw that cura personalis means care for the entire person, I connected and resonated with so much, I named my whole brand that. right? Because everything that I provide, everything that I create, every offer that I have is all about helping the woman become her whole complete self. In other words, I'm not going to give you all the steps to become a multi-billionaire, but then your family jacked up and your kids don't even know your middle name. Nah, I want you to be a multi-billionaire and to spend time with your family and to trust in your God and have your spiritual life where it needs to be in order to sustain your life, right? Because from Cura Personalis, which means care for the entire person, I designed what I call the Cura Canvas. Love it. Yes, ma'am. And this is just for follow your bliss, because now you see what you did. Now I'm all the way turned up. I'm all the way turned up. So care for the entire person. And then as I was beginning to build out my program, I asked the Lord, I said, okay, what is an entire person when it comes to a woman? What is her entire self? Right? And so as I began to search and ask God, well, how do you want me to do this, Father? How do you want me to present this to the woman of God? He led me to, there are 7 specific target life areas that every woman has. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter if you're married, single, or divorced. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter if you're walking upright or in a wheelchair. It doesn't matter if you have one brown eye and one black eye. You have 7 life areas. And care for the entire person, which is what Cura Personalis means. It means that you are intentional about growing all of those areas so that you can become complete, so that you can live a full life. And so my whole brand was Cura. Cura is my whole brand. It's all about the woman becoming her full, whole, total, fulfilled, totally balanced self. And so the 7 target life areas for every woman are your spiritual life, yourself, which is most neglected. Do it on this side. Your spiritual life, yourself, your health and your fitness, which is one area, your leisure life, which is so important. Most people don't even know what that is. And then your relationships, your finances, and your career and or business. Those are 7 areas. And I'm telling you this right now. Any one of them you neglect is going to deplete you as a woman, because we are designed to be full. We are designed to be complete. How do I know that? Because we were designed to be a helpmeet to somebody else. And you can't help nobody if you're not full and complete. Everybody think Adam was the genius. No, God was a genius by giving Adam and Eve. Because if he could do everything by himself, he wouldn't have needed an Eve. And there's no way God is going to give Adam somebody that's not complete. Well, Jim? Okay. It's just not no way. My son just told me, where can I read more? Where can I read more, find out more? All right, I'm going to put it in the comments. Tell me what you mean, follow your bliss. You mean about Cura Personalis in the Latin? Or do you mean about, tell me what you mean. All right. So Cura Personalis, care for the entire person. You literally can go to my website, angelatesano.com, and I will lead you on everything you need to do, particularly for your business your business life area, to make sure that you grow legacy wealth. It's important to me. It's important to me because I know that if your finances are right, if your business is launched and ready to go, then it's going to affect all the other areas in your life as well. All right. So what am I saying to you today? 2025 is going to be your most profitable, your most lucrative, your most successful year yet. I'm telling you, because I'm not going to allow you to falter or let go or diminish what you actually have to offer, because what you have to offer is so important to the world. Your thoughts on this? Your thoughts on this? Gosh, I wish I knew what you mean by that. Your thoughts on this? I'm not sure what you mean, but I am going to give you my email address, support at AngelaTesno.com. Okay. I put my love. I'm going to put my my email address. Reach out to me, email me, and I will answer any of the questions that you have that I can't answer here. Or better yet, you can join the Cura Circle, join the Little Oil Party, and take this journey with us. And I promise you, all of it will make sense along the way. All right, join the Little Oil Party. The link is in the description. If you are able, get the Little Oil Jar. The link will be in the description. If you're not ready to get the Little Oil Jar, get the free downloadable version by joining the Little Oil Party. You have to register in order to access it because it's inside my Cura Circle. I love y'all so much. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat real quick and I will answer them for you. So here's where we are. It's December 31st, 2024. In a few hours, it is going to be day 1 of 2025. I want you to go back to your overflow challenge, and I want you to get these 3 things done. I want you to get them ready. If you're just joining us and you missed this part, go ahead and watch the replay and get to the part, because they should have chapters in here, but get to the I will join. I love the jar. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. All right. So go back and follow your bliss. Just says she loves the jar. The jar is everything because it's literally going to keep you motivated and inspired. Like I have my own jar. I use my jar, right? I use it. Okay. So I'm at the 10X phase. I must be honest about that because I've done my first 5 and I'm good. And I'm just going to let you follow where you need at your own pace and go with you and be with you where you are, right? I'm going to be with you where you are and we're going to do this at your pace. All right. But for now, you have a few hours to do a very few things. Get your agenda ready, whatever agenda or calendar you want to use or a digital app. Get it ready and do these 3 things. Take one of your big goals and break it into milestones. You got to do it. You got to do it. Choose one of those milestones and write the small action steps you have to take toward achieving that milestone, and then set your weekly check-in. It could be with us girls. We meet every Thursday inside the Cura Circle to talk about goals, milestones, to talk about roadblocks, how to address them. I am a wealth of information for you that will answer any question you have, and answers I don't have, I will find for you. Like I will be like a hound dog finding the solution for you because I want you to succeed. So here's what you're going to do. Number 1, you're going to take this overflow challenge and do these 3 things. Number 2, you're going to use the link in the description to join the Little Oil Party. The party is January the 6th at 7 p.m. You're going to walk away with your Little Oil action steps done. You're going to walk away with it done. And yeah, I love y'all so very much. I'm super excited. If you have not gotten access to the 6-figure coach cohort, that is starting January the 7th. Now, you don't have to be in there by the time we start because all the replays and everything you need will be inside the Cura Circle, but it's just always good to start at the beginning. Right? All right. So I've given you enough for today to at least think on. I've given you steps to take. Happy New Year to all my friends. I love y'all so much. And the only other thing you need to know is all it takes is a little oil to make a big spark. Little is much when God is in it. It's Angela Tesno here with the Little Oil Podcast. Happy New Year and bye for now.